3, 2.
And we're going welcome. I say and we're going welcome like 3 times before the actual podcast starts. I say it right as the ad goes. I say it as soon as the ad's over, and then I say it when we start the podcast. But what are you going to do? Welcome back to the podcast. I hope everyone's having a great time out there. Man, you look for... I always say this within this company, you have to find new challenges, I guess, to keep going, at least for me. Like, I don't get me wrong. There's people out there that love the same everyday routine. I absolutely admire that. I wish I could have that brain. I wish I could have the simplicity of a life where every day you wake up and everything is the same and you're satisfied. I remember working certain jobs, and you talk to these people that, boom, I'm here for 40 years, and they're just the happiest people in the world. I admire that. Like, I think that's great. I just need... I'm the complete opposite. I need excitement and I need a challenge, if that makes sense. And within this company, it's almost like the things that we've set out to do, we've accomplished. I remember me and Jeff were having this conversation. I don't know why I'm talking like you're not here, Jeff. Say hello, by the way.
Hello.
That's enough.
Come on.
I remember last year we were having conversations about challenges that we were having within the company, and we smashed them. And we give ourselves a pat on the back for that, and that's great. Certain things, we had to overcome, equipment issues. Boom, we got equipment. Scheduling issues. Boom, we solved that. Can we do 118 games in 6 days, aka the Ice Jam? Yeah, okay, we squashed that. There's just challenges throughout this past 12 months that have come face to face with us, and we've overcome them, and that's great, and I'm proud of us. But now I'm lacking challenges. Maybe not you guys. Maybe you guys are very satisfied, and I'm getting a call right now. 902. I'm going to just 1 sec here. Hello? Hello?
Hello, this is a call from Visa Security Department.
What?
We have found 2 suspicious charges made on your card.
What was that? Man, fraud is up here. 2 suspicious charges.
Do you think that was real, or is that like a...
Well, now I'm looking at my bank account really quick to make sure nothing has been taken off.
Yeah.
Okay, no, we're good.
Yeah, I think that was a...
There's commas. What was I saying?
Challenges,
yeah, challenges. So maybe you guys are like, I know for your sense that there's nothing else within the company on the streaming side that I can teach you. You guys know everything. I don't know. What do you want me to say to you? You guys know how to do everything that I know how to do at this point. Am I wrong?
No, you're right.
I'm right.
That's the way it is. Yeah.
So with that being said, where's the next challenge? If I'm ever losing sleep at night, I need to find that next challenge. And lately, these past 3 weeks, there's been sleep that has been lost because of challenges that I seek. I'm always growing the podcast. I want to make sure the podcast is on the upward scale, always. But there's always been one aspect of the company that I've always flirted with that I think that would help flourish this company from a C-level company to an A-level company. But it takes a lot of work because, 1, it takes a lot of editing. 2, it takes a lot of manpower. What number are we on? 3? 3.
Yeah.
3, it takes a lot of consistency. 4, it takes a unique skill set to accomplish this thing that I want to happen. What number? That's enough. 4 is good enough. I'm just making.
Are you gonna tell them what it is?
Yeah, I am. Yeah. I am. I was trying to make it sound.
Yeah. A little build up.
The behind the scenes aspect of the company. There are so many things. I won't even say what I want. When I'm watching reality television, the most intriguing. It's not that often. It's mostly just whatever she's watching up there, like the Hollywood Mums thing, which is cool, but whatever. But it's not necessarily drama that I admire. It's problem solving skills that I admire, and stressful. Like, what's the one where they're on the ships and they're catching deep sea fishing there on Discovery?
Yeah.
I love
Deadliest Catch.
Like, I love the Deadliest Catch. They're on there. They're trying to catch the fish. There's always a problem. Some guy's overboard. He had a couple drinks last night. Should we fire him? I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I love that stuff. I think it's the most intriguing television in the world. And I'm not saying that High Button Sports is significant as the Deadliest Catch, or we could create better content than the Deadliest Catch. I'm going to try. But it's the drama behind the scenes that I admire from other shows, and problem solving skills and hectic, tense situations where somehow we come out the other side and we're successful. I can sit here and talk about 20 experiences where we have something that needs to be done within the next 20 minutes and somehow we pull it off and boom, we're done, we're good. And we pull it off somehow. And those, I think, are the moments I think that we're missing from a behind the scenes aspect that I think people would admire. Also, our personalities. I think we have some good personalities within the company that can be put on a spotlight, on a pedestal, that could be broadcasted out to the fans that admire High Button Sports. So I think that's another avenue. I don't want to say avenue. I think that's a challenge that I'm looking to fulfill here within the next 6 to 12 months.
Yeah.
Sorry, you go.
No, I was just going to say, we've talked about this for a long time, you know what I mean? In some capacity. So this is a good challenge to try to take on, I guess, right now, right?
And here's the thing about it. I don't know how many numbers I said, whatever, about, remember I was numbering things off?
Yeah.
What number was consistency? 3 or 2?
I think that was 3.
3? So number 3, consistency is the most important out of all of them. I hate looking at other things and seeing a couple, how do I say this? I hate looking at other brands and them not being consistent with their work. I hate it within our own company.
Yeah.
It's the most, I love consistency because consistency can lead to so many great things. One, you learn from your problems if you're consistent because you're doing them often. And 2, it can create a fast track to success because you're learning from your mistakes and you keep going. So you're eliminating the fat. And if you're consistent with a behind the scenes, aka behind the button series, you'll be able to learn very quickly what works and what doesn't. But let me finish. The thing with behind the scenes means another person needs to come in to the group. And that means a couple things. 1, I'm not fucking listing things off again. Sorry. You just essentially need someone to be a fly on the wall, and you have to be a good energy in the room. And you have to be good at editing. You have to have a good camera skill. You have to have an eye for it. And you also need to direct a little bit. Mm-hmm. You know, Justin, walk through that door again. Now do something, you know, Jeff, okay, try to just plug that cord in one more time. I missed that shot. It'll look good on this edit. Yeah. You need to be able to find someone that knows what they're shooting. It's a skill set that I think is tough. Like I tried it. It's not easy. But I do know that there's tons of kids out there that have cameras and microphones and want to be involved with this company that we like to call High Button Sports. Exactly.
Yeah. I was listening to you.
No,
I was listening to you.
Are you awake?
Yeah, I was listening to you. Okay. You're on like a big monologue here. I'm dialed in.
Well, you were late on the sports. But that's an aspect of the company that I think will help High Button.
Yeah.
No, you're supposed to say sports.
Yeah.
No.
You can leave it at High Button, though.
No, man. You have to finish it with sports. Right. It makes it look like we're on the same page.
We are. No, you're right. That's you're right. What do you think? What do you think people would say about your consistency with the podcast? Do you think people are listening at home right now saying we're a couple hypocrites sitting here?
Yeah, probably, and I'm embarrassed about that.
You know, we got to be real here. This is an in-house. I'm just saying, like,
I'm not.
You know?
What do you want me to? How do I explain? You know, I won't listen to anyone else unless you've started a company. You don't people. But then again, I don't think people are like, hey, where's the podcast? Like, no one has really messaged me going, hey, like, where are these podcast episodes? Yada, yada, yada. No one's really said that to me. So I'm not overly concerned about it. But building a company is the hardest thing in the world. And I'm not sitting here, you know, give me a soother. I'm a fucking, you know, I'm going to, you know, just, I'm not looking for any sympathy is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is that it's hard to take advice from people on a day-to-day unless you've actually started a company yourself to this magnitude. I'm not saying we're the biggest company in the world, but I'm not saying we're the smallest. But what I am saying is that we have tons of potential, and the next moves that we make in the next 12 months dictate our success for, I think, the next 6 to 10 years. I just think it's a very important year for us in order to move forward, because we know that there's tons of opportunity on the table. And unfortunately right now, we have to say no to some of this opportunity because we don't have a lot of manpower. But you don't even have to be a business owner to understand that hiring good people is one of the hardest things to do in the world right now. Maybe I shouldn't say the world, but I know in North America, hiring people is very tough. Every now and then you'll go to Tim's to try to get a coffee. There's no one there.
Yeah.
So if Tim Hortons is having trouble hiring, how's High Button Sports going to hire? I'm not comparing ourselves to Tim's, but it is hard to find quality people in today's world. So we'll have to, we're going to have to do our research. I'll admit I've been lazy on the hiring side. I see, okay, it's a young guy, he's got a camera, okay, let's go, let's work. Instead of like calling references, being like, all right, so how is Dylan? Does Dylan show up to work every day? Like, how does he, what's his attitude like on a Monday morning at 9 a.m.? How does he, what does he do? How does he come to work? Does he have a car? Is he professional? Yada, yada. I haven't done any of that. I just like to judge a book by its cover and go, okay, this kid showed up to the interview, he'll show up to work. And that's been wrong in some cases. So,
but yeah, I feel like you're kind of a guy who likes to read energy, though. And this company, we're in its infancy still, relatively speaking. So I don't think that's necessarily bad. That's what you're doing. Like, we always bring guys in, you get a vibe for them. We'll discuss after. You can kind of figure out how, like, quite a bit off meeting someone and chatting for 10 minutes. So, what is some old boss of this guy saying? There's value in that discussion, but I also feel like it's a company, like you said, they got to be a fly on the wall. They got to fit. They got to be one of the boys here. So I don't think it's necessarily a bad way that you've been going about it to this point.
Yeah, I guess so. I think I just think we're missing out on some really good content.
Yeah, definitely.
There's so many, like when we just, Montreal, so many pieces of video content that would have been great.
Yeah.
A lot of trips coming up that it would be great to have that camera guy.
Yeah.
So many other things coming up right now that can dictate some success on YouTube and Facebook in terms of video content. I think it could be really special.
Yeah.
And if we find the right person/persons, we'll be all right.
We'll do it. That's what a challenge we're giving ourselves here now. So it's about making it happen, right? It's like anything else we do. It'll happen.
Yeah, we'll be fine.
Put in some effort to it. It was this tournament or this trip that me and you are going on here soon. That would have been a good one to have someone come on, because
when is that?
We're kind of going through in the deep end, May 26th to 28th.
Boston?
Yeah. That would have been an interesting one.
Time's flying.
Because it's just me and you.
Why can't we bring someone?
We could, yeah, if we find someone in time, and if they don't mind staying in the hotel with us.
Yeah, what do they want to do? We're gonna get them their own room?
No.
First day
That's
on the job.
I just mean that we're comfortable with that. You know what I mean? Like your first time bringing someone in, you're going to Boston for 3 days. It's just like an interesting way to bring someone in for the first time, but whatever works.
Well, whoever we bring, you're sleeping in the same bed with them. I'm not. But yeah, anyways, we'll figure it out. It's gonna be but to kind of go full. So how long are we going right now on this podcast so far?
Like 10 minutes.
So to come back to the first minute of where we started, and we talk about challenges. That's my challenge, and that's kind of what is going to get me excited.
Yeah.
About things within this company. You gotta find new challenges. That's I kind of like to always start with a little what's going on in Justin's head. It's the challenge aspect. How do I find a new challenge, and how do I conquer it? And hopefully people listening to this will be able to watch some content coming up in the next 12 months of a behind the scenes aspect to what really goes on within this company, because it's funny. And it's, we're just a bunch of guys trying to figure it out, just like you, or you could be a girl listening too. Just, everyone's trying to figure it out in this world. What else? Everyone. I don't care who you are. If you're Gandhi's passed away.
Yeah, rest in peace.
I don't care who you are, but everyone's trying to figure out problems. So if you can capture some of those moments while you're trying to figure out problems, hey, then I guess you got a reality show or an internet
yeah.
reality show.
It would be interesting, right? It's a unique thing. So, if anyone's out there listening and you've seen like The Office or stool scenes at Barstool, and you think you could do something like that, reach out. We're in the market. We'll see.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just a challenge. But the interesting thing about the whole the challenge thing, just to wrap that up, is we're facing a lot of challenges on the live streaming side. Not challenges, but a lot of stuff that we're going to go out of our comfort zone for. So it's probably good to add something on the content side as well, so we can kind of even it out, like you said. But there you go.
On the personal side, how's moving out? How's the new place?
It's good, man. Finally,
Jeff's out of the
downtown.
parents' place.
Yeah. I'm the only one with a car in my house, so that's kind of nice. I'm the oldest by a few years for the next few months, but it's good. Showed out Jurian and Mitch, but yeah, just downtown living, ready for the summer. We got a lot of stuff on the plate, enough to fill my brain day to day. So it's good. It's good.
What do you guys do?
Play zombies. They're younger and they're still in university and they're kind of a little fresher. They're not into like exactly like the real world sort of part that I'm in now. Obviously, with you, day-to-day grinding, having to solve problems. They're in school. They're enjoying themselves. So we're just hanging out, having a good time. It keeps me young.
Do they look at you as like inspiration?
You never want to call yourself an inspiration, but I think because I am like 5 years older than one of the guys, he definitely, he was when I roll in, he seems happy to see me, but he's a cool guy. It's fun. I'm looking forward to it. I said, it'll keep me young.
What do they say about you watching Edmonton games till 2 a.m?
Well, I go to my uncle's in Bedford for them, so I don't even stay there for those. I dip out, so they haven't seen me in my full passion like you have, but
Yeah.
they don't mind. I don't think it's like a nice house thing. It's not like an apartment where we're on top of each other at all.
You have your space?
Definitely. I got my space. Yeah, so it's good. Good to be back. I mean, I lived in Toronto on my own, like, for when I was 17 until I was 20. So I'm used to it a little bit. But yeah, it's good. It's good. So,
Have you done a load of laundry yet?
No, definitely not.
Have you washed a dish yet?
Yeah, but we have a dishwasher, so that's helped. Did you have a dishwasher in your places growing up? I never did. Like my apartments and like after I moved out.
Yeah, we did, but I grew up in a military household, so it was always just wash it by hand. Like there's a dishwasher at our family cottage, and it never gets used.
Really?
We always just wash it ourselves. This is the way it goes.
Would you get yelled at if you like left a dish out?
No, yeah, big time. You
Yeah.
gotta keep it clean. And it's funny, back then you're just like, what are you talking about, guys? Like it's a dish, who cares? But now I'm the same way. Like I just clean, and
Yeah.
if there's a dish left out, I get pissed. Like, no, wash it, put it away. I'm yelling at myself.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that's good stuff. So
Yep.
if you're Austin Matthews right now, what are you doing? Are you sitting down going, okay, well, we have to win game 5, which they do. If you're Mitch Marner, are you sitting down going, we have to win game 5, which you do? And if you're William Nylander and John Tavares and Morgan Riley, are you sitting down going, we have to win game 5, which you do? A couple things about that series right now. I know the last thing people need to hear is another stupid podcast. Well, this isn't a stupid one, but another podcast about the Leafs and what they need to do to win, because nobody knows. But I'm going to give you my 2 cents on it because you're here listening, so why the hell not? I was at game 1 against Tampa in Toronto at Scotiabank Center. Crazy atmosphere for a hockey game during O Canada. Even before, went out, grabbed a couple drinks with my friends. Shout out to Brody and Ben. As I was sitting in this restaurant, it was probably a block away from Scotiabank Center. You look to your right, you look to your left. It's a glass restaurant, so you see outside on the streets. And I'm there an hour before the game. All you see is blue jerseys everywhere. Inside the restaurant, even the people serving the beer, the drinks, even the girls, like just blue jerseys. Leaf jerseys everywhere. The town is obsessed with the Leaf and the white and the blue. Mm-hmm. I know you're an Edmonton fan, so right now you're thinking whatever. But the amount of pressure coming from that town, unbelievable. I felt nervous going to watch the game. It was just unbelievable, the amount of pressure that you could feel. I don't know if you've ever walked into a room and you could sense tension. It was like that being outside in downtown Toronto an hour before the game. And you look at their record right now at home, I think they're 1-4, and on the road they're 4-1. So they've only won one game at home during the playoffs after all of these games. And now you look at this and you go, okay, well, Toronto needs to win Game 5, and if they don't, everyone's saying their key cards aren't going to show up, or they're not going to work to get into the building the next day, yada yada, which I do think is true. But the problem with that organization, that city, that town, whatever you want to call it, is just it's the pressure. The players are kids; they're human. I understand they're getting paid a lot of money, and you think that money's going to make them, somewhat professionals, and they're going to be able to power through because they got tons of money in the bank account. But at the end of the day, they're human, and pressure rides hard on a human, especially in a market in a city like Toronto, where everywhere you look, all people care about. I remember talking to some buddies up there. They're going, "Yeah, like work doesn't really matter tomorrow because the Leafs are playing tonight." The economy is based on that team.
Yeah.
And the question some of these players are getting after the game, I don't know. The pressure is just mounted up on that team. And tonight, I don't think they'll win tonight. I don't. But if they do, I'm just telling. They could. Like if I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But that town is hockey crazy, and I don't think that when push comes to shove and their backs are against the wall in the town where they play hockey in, which they like to call Toronto, I just don't see it happening. Wall impressed me. Wall played well. Woll or Wall? Woll.
Is it Joseph Woll?
I don't know. I just go by last name.
Yeah.
But just looking at that series right now, the pressure is still heavily on Toronto. And at the end of the day, Florida, after beating Boston, there's no pressure on them, especially right now going into Game 5 up 3-1, going into Toronto. They can go in and make some mistakes and still come out and win this. So that's how I feel about that series. There's too much pressure on Toronto, and there always will be. And until they can find a superhuman that can come into that organization and literally not feel the pressure, I don't see it.
Yeah. The question is, if they win tonight, they don't go out with a whimper. They'll go out, fighting. If they lose tonight, kind of seems like they went out with a bit of a whimper, which is unfortunate for Leafs fans after, finally getting that win, right?
I will say this, if they do win tonight, I think they could take the series in 7.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, if they win and they can prove me wrong,
Really?
if they can prove the High Button podcast wrong, because I'm sure they're listening, and if they can win with their backs against the wall in Toronto, I think that they have a shot in hell to win it in Game 7.
Can you imagine they reverse sweep? That'd be, I don't know. Yeah, that'd be something. I'd tip a cap to the Leafs fans if they manage to reverse sweep, but we'll see.
Have they suspended Pietrangelo yet? How many games?
1 game.
Was there a fine, or was it just...
I don't think there was a fine. It was 1 game, and it kind of it matters, but Nurse is suspended for a game because he started a fight with 5 minutes left.
I'm watching it now.
Which is just so ridiculous that a slash on the wrist of Draisaitl like that, like Pietrangelo doing that, can get the same as Nurse fighting a guy with 5 minutes left. But a podcast I listened to, Cult of Hockey, shout out to them. They were saying Nurse needs to know at this point in his career that that's the rule. Players need to know the rule book, essentially. And if you don't know that you going to take someone's head off with under 5 minutes to go and you're up 4-1 in a game and you've got a huge playoff game on the horizon, if you don't know that you're going to get suspended for taking that fight and being the instigator, then I don't know what to tell you. You've been in the NHL for 10 years. Know the rule book.
I will say this. I don't know, I've played a high level of hockey. I'm not saying you haven't, but you haven't. Human emotions don't come into play when you're playing playoff hockey. Especially, I'll even admit to myself, I've never competed for a Stanley Cup. I don't know what that feeling is like, but I will say this. The glory that you get from winning a Stanley Cup, you are willing to throw all human emotions out the window. I've seen some incredible things in the Stanley Cup playoffs that are just unhumane. Remember Duncan Keith high stick Drew Doughty when Duncan Keith was for Chicago and Downey was trying to pick up his stick and he just
Okay.
like chopped him right in the mouth, like just like the most gruesome things. These are things of my lifetime that I
Yeah.
remember. I over the years back in the 60s, 70s, I couldn't imagine some of the horrible things that happened to try to win a Stanley Cup. But seeing Petriangelo's slash, I wouldn't even call it a slash, it was a hack.
Yeah.
And he's not
A chop.
A chop. He's not even a greasy player.
No.
But all that tells me is that by trying to go out there and achieve and win a Stanley Cup, human emotion goes out the window, because you see guys come out of their character to try to do whatever it takes to win. He was willing to break Draisaitl's arm. He was. Look at that slash. Or,
I
sorry,
know.
what do we call it? A hack?
A chop.
A chop, sorry. He was
Axe
he was
chop.
willing to chop off Draisaitl's arm to win a Stanley
So
Cup.
grease.
You know, but at the same time,
Wow, what a hero.
you
He was
gotta-
willing to fuck someone's career up to
Yeah.
win a Stanley Cup.
I'm saying human emotion is eliminated from your body when
Yeah.
trying to win a Stanley Cup. That's just the way it is. Some of the things I saw Sid do trying to win a cup, he
Yeah.
doesn't care about his superstar status. He would do whatever it took to win those 3 Stanley Cups. What's another great example?
Dude, the guy on Boston, was it Boychuk who blocked the puck a few years ago and he like broke his leg, but he stayed out there?
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
remember
that was a
that.
huge deal when that happened.
Yeah.
It was like the shift, and he was like, his face was all bloody, and like and he was just.
But man, to win a Stanley Cup, you are a legend in that city forever.
I know, man.
Forever.
Yeah.
Sandlot. But
yeah.
you're just you would do whatever it takes to win a Stanley Cup. Hence going back to those guys in Toronto. Imagine if you won a Stanley Cup and you're in Toronto and you play for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Holy smokes, it's interesting when you talk about pay cuts and stuff, because if those guys did, because they have no money now, but if those guys took a pay cut, brought in a little bit more depth, won a cup for years. How many guys are on the roster? 18? It doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't even matter
Yeah,
who's on the
18.
team or not. If you're the lowest guy in the totem pole, you're shooting commercials in Toronto for the rest of your life. You're going to restaurants in Toronto not paying a cent for the rest of your life. You're showing up in that city and you are a king for the rest of your life if you win a Stanley Cup in Toronto in our generation. But I'm not the guy sitting with a 14. What's Matthews getting paid right now? 12 million.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not the guy. It's hard for me to sit here and go, oh, Matthews, take a pay cut, because I'm not sitting. I'm not sitting in front of 12 mil saying, here you go, Matthews, just put the puck in the net.
Well, does everyone forget Nylander sitting out for half a year, didn't he? Because he was waiting for his contract. Like, these guys weren't worried about pay cuts.
That kind of all goes back to, the Sid rule and what Nate did too, and the pay cuts can bring you glory. It's not that Sid needs to be shooting commercials the rest of his life in Pittsburgh, but Sid's same with Nate. Nate can go back to Colorado 40, 50 years from now when he's long gone out of the NHL, and he can go shoot a commercial for Enterprise if he wants. It's just you're glorified if you can bring the glory days to your city. Any sport, not just hockey, basketball, football,
Baseball.
Baseball, and that's about it. Soccer.
Yeah, you bring an MLS title to your city, you're a legend.
I'm
I'm kind of joking, but
Maybe,
you
I don't
probably
know.
are. No, in
Apparently-
some people's eyes, you are.
Apparently, cricket's huge in India. Like,
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah.
Like they're the best player in India has more followers than LeBron James on Instagram. I saw that on a podcast somewhere
Really?
recently. Yeah, they're just like superstars over there. India, they call it like Bollywood. It's like a whole nother version of celebrity just
Yeah.
over in India. Kind of cool.
Yeah, I saw like a poll, and it was like, what's the most popular sport in each country? And hockey had 3 countries. Do you think you could guess which ones it was the most in all the world? Ice hockey was the most popular sport in 3 separate countries.
Canada, USA, Sweden.
No, it's not
Russia?
the biggest in USA, man. Hockey's like way buried down. Like, think of American football.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Like, this is the national, like, you know what I mean? Like, this is the sport for for the country.
Canada, Russia, Finland.
Good.
Is it
Good
Finland?
guess, but it wasn't Russia. It's Latvia.
Latvia.
Canada, Latvia, Finland in this poll I saw. Russia hockey's ginormous, but I think it was still soccer there because soccer had like 150 countries where it was the most popular. Maybe that's a lie, but a ton of countries. But yeah, it was Latvia, Finland, and Canada.
Oh yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah. You think like maybe Russian and Sweden? Those ones, it's typically pretty big over in Sweden and obviously Russia.
Yeah.
Lots of history, but
I will admit, I'm not proud to admit this, but I'm usually in bed by 8:30, 9 o'clock. But now that these playoff games are on, I'm staying up by myself watching these games, and I'm enjoying myself. Like regular season, you're lucky if I'm making it to the third. But these playoff games, man, they are just a great time to stay up and watch. I might get a jersey.
for who?
Just I don't know,
Draisaitl?
the NHL. Just like an NHL jersey. Just the jersey that says hockey.
Yeah, that's a classic when they wear the
If Montreal's in the finals again, I'll get one. But until then.
well, we might be waiting a while for that.
But man, just endless amount of content to be able to watch on television at night. It's a great time. I don't know what more you want out of this life. Like, what more do you want? You got a couch, a TV, Twitter, a phone. That's like, it's pretty sad, but that's as good as it gets.
What more could you possibly want in this
Yeah,
life than that? I could think of a few things.
Like what?
I don't know, happiness,
But that is,
money.
but you are happy.
Yeah, it's true. I'm happy when I'm watching that hockey, so good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, it all ties in. So you're not sick of hockey yet? After all we've been through this year, like how many games have me and you consumed of hockey this past calendar year?
Around probably 500,
Yeah.
maybe a little over.
I think we've run streams on at least 500 games this year.
That's pretty cool.
Plus playing hockey. I know you play a little bit. I play quite a bit. Watching the NHL. It's a lot of hockey.
Yeah, man, hockey has got me. They got me.
Yeah.
They got me good.
Yeah.
They took me and they got me.
Yeah.
I'm locked into a lifetime contract with them.
Yeah.
Well, whatever, they got me.
But if you want to stream baseball, let us know. We like
for
baseball
sure.
too.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, well, let's start to move on to maybe some more serious topics here in Bedard. How much time are we at right now?
35 minutes.
Oh my God, man, time's flying. You are an absolute idiot if you think that the NHL draft lottery is random. Like if you think
Yeah.
there's some guy behind a curtain drawing balls going, oh, Chicago won. You got another thing coming. There's a reason why he's not playing in Columbus. There's a reason why he's not playing in
You think
Anaheim.
so? You actually think so?
I usually don't like to admit this to a lot of people. I like to keep this to myself. But
All right.
since for me to prove my point, I'll have to say it. Not that I've been behind, the curtain of upper echelon, high society, all that, business owners. At the end of the day, all that matters, I hate to break it to you, is money. Mm-hmm. There's no, good faith is out there. All that is out there for sure. I've never had a conversation with a billionaire. I've never been in a room full of executives that own Fortune 500 companies. I've never been in those rooms, but I've talked to some successful people before, and all that matters is money in the world. Kindness, yes, sure, you have to be kind. Yeah, there's certain things in the world that people listening might not think it's true, but at the end of the day, all that matters to the people that are running the world is money. Bedard looks better in the NHL playing in Chicago for a lot of reasons compared to playing in Anaheim or Columbus. I think they're pretty obvious, but if you don't think they're obvious, sit down, let me tell you. One, how good does it look having him in a city where sports are all that really matters? Chicago, what else matters than staying. Well, man, it's a war zone right now, so staying alive. That's definitely number one.
Yeah.
But number two is sports. Cubs, Bulls, White Sox, Blackhawks. I'm sure I'm missing a
Bears.
couple other. The Bears. Sure, I always forget about football.
Yeah, it's like the biggest sport in
yeah.
America by a long shot.
What looks better, having Bedard in a Winter Classic, probably every year for the next 10 years because he's in Chicago? How many Winter Classics have you seen Anaheim or Columbus in the past 10 years? Not a lot.
No.
Not a lot.
No.
Another reason. Did I already say the city?
Well, you said a city that revolves around sports,
A city
but not
that
the
revolves-
city specifically.
The city in general. I've never been myself, but apparently those Chicago Blackhawks games during the Taves, Kane, Sharp, Crawford era when they won those cups were, what do they call it? The Madhouse were apparently some of the best atmospheres in all of sports. Just incredible. So if Bedard goes into that market and starts doing what he did in Halifax in the World Juniors, make no mistake, that economy, will boom. Restaurants, hotels, flights in and out. May I go on? Bedard will uplift that market for sure. Not that he wouldn't in Anaheim or Columbus, but people aren't going to California to watch Bedard play. I hate to break it to you. They're going there to the beach. They're going there to lay out, maybe get some sun and ride into the glory years.
Become a movie star.
Become a movie star. I tried. It was tough. Columbus. What do you want me? I don't even.
Yeah,
I don't
you got
have
the
it.
cannon. You got the cannon. When they score a goal, the big cannon goes off.
Yeah, but
You got
Bedard,
the
his ears,
cannon.
sensitive.
Yeah, we got to protect him at all costs, right?
What if the guy running the cannon, had a couple drinks before and he forgot to aim it the right way and it's aimed right at Bedard? It hits him.
I think it shoots flags, buddy.
Well, maybe the guy that runs it had a couple drinks and he put real rounds in it and he forgot.
And he shoots it at Bedard on
And
his
then
own team.
Bedard's lights out.
Yeah.
So Columbus. But Chicago, at the end of the day, is better for the NHL. That logo, the amount of effort that they put into that organization by the NHL, it's just a better look. It's just a better look,
Even post controversy.
What? Oh, the sexual thing.
Yes. They have had a lot of controversy, but the
it's
NHL, they like Chicago. That's just what it is at the end of the day.
It's a way to make people forget. Because right now, when you look at Chicago, you do think about that. You think about that scandal of what happened. Very unfortunate with Kyle Beach. It was awful. But the NHL doesn't want people to look at the Chicago Blackhawks logo and think about that. What they want them to think about is their 3 championships that they won. And now Connor Bedard going in to try to win 3 more championships.
Yeah, you're right.
They want people to forget. And when it comes to, like I said, peeking behind that curtain and seeing how the other side live, it is about money. It's about money. And Connor Bedard will bring a lot of money to the NHL by him being in Chicago. It's just the way it is. What did they say? They already sold $1.2 million worth of season tickets.
Oh, really?
An hour after he was drafted.
Dude, I don't blame him. That'd be sick. Imagine season tickets to the Blackhawks when you get Bedard leading your squad the next 10 years.
He was so much fun to watch in Halifax. He was just worth the price of admission. I know some of those tickets were going for thousands and thousands of dollars. That's a little too steep for me, but if you had it, I was blessed to be in there to be able to watch some of those games and see the performance that he put on, because at the end of the day, that is the future of hockey. Back when Sid was playing for Rimouski and he got to come play against the Halifax Mooseheads, you were watching the future of hockey. And seeing Connor Bedard come to Halifax, play against all these other countries, you're watching the future of hockey and where it's going. Even you said something cool about him the other day. You're like, he was the guy who used to make videos of himself, and put them on Instagram and promote himself or something like that. Yeah, and like that's just the future of hockey. So I don't know the next time I'll be in Chicago. Maybe soon. That'd be it just seems dangerous now.
Never know.
It's not safe there. Apparently, people are saying it's No, that's all.
America, it's yeah. I'm sure it's not.
People are getting like beat up randomly on the streets. It's just awful.
You're a big guy. I can hide
Yeah, but I
behind
can't-
you.
I
I
can't
can
hi-
hide behind you, man.
Yeah, but guns and I'm not gonna. This isn't a. We're not pro gun here, but what was I saying? Bedard in Chicago.
Yeah, yeah.
I had a great point.
Really? Well,
Yeah.
I said the thing. You said the thing about like putting
The
himself
future.
on the yeah.
Sorry. The future of the game. I haven't always said this. I said this the first time I ever said this about the revolution of the game was that tournament it was like the North America young guys versus Canada. Remember that? It was at Toronto, like back in 2016. It was before the first.
Oh yes, the World Championship.
The
they
World
did.
Championship.
Yeah, and North America, like under 23
Yeah.
team Europe.
Yeah, I thought that was the first, at least in my lifetime, the first opportunity to see the revolution of hockey and where it was going with that young guns team.
You mean evolution?
What did I say?
Revolution.
Oh, it's evolution?
Yeah, like seeing it progress.
Yeah,
Yes,
evolution.
yeah,
It was the first
yeah.
time seeing an evolution of the game of hockey that we all know and love.
Yeah.
And I think this past World Juniors, at least seeing Bedard play, was the evolution of where all these young kids coming up want to go. You know, you and I, we live stream a lot of games, and we get to see these young kids play hockey. And believe it or not, you know, they're putting their tape on their stick. They're making sure it's white, and then they're grabbing that black Sharpie and they're scribbling all over their stick, just like Bedard did at the World Juniors.
Yeah.
So don't think for a second when those kids go home too, they're not going on the old YouTube and typing in Connor Bedard and seeing what he's doing, seeing what he's working on, finding out what curve he has, what kind of flex stick does he have, how can I mimic my game after Connor Bedard. Same thing with the NBA and Steph Curry shooting those 3-pointers. Everyone wants to be like Steph Curry.
Yeah.
You know, Curry 3-pointer.
Yeah.
It's the same
3-point league now.
It's whatever. But back to Connor Bedard, we claim him, son. It's the same thing. Kids are trying to mimic that, and that's where hockey's going. It's a really cool thing to see, and it's going to be great to see him. Chicago jersey is the nicest jersey in the NHL.
Yeah, it's up there.
I think it's going to be great for marketing purposes. The city's awesome. He's going to flourish. In the city of Chicago, the Madhouse is extremely lucky that they're going to be able to witness that for the next 20 years, hopefully, just how Halifax got to witness it for the past. How long were World Juniors?
2 weeks.
2
3
weeks. 2-3 weeks.
Yeah.
It's worth the price of admission. And to go back to my point, if you think the NHL draft lottery is all correct and the big wigs behind don't have their hand in those balls,
Yeah.
you have another thing coming. I hate to break it to you.
Conspiracy theorist over here.
It's not even a conspiracy theory. It's just you think it's a coincidence that Sid didn't go to Anaheim?
I don't know. I guess I just have a little more like
You think it's a coincidence?
Frank Saravelli, you know him, respected NHL insider. He apparently went behind the scenes of the thing and like maybe it's a puff piece. I don't know. Maybe you're right. But he went behind the scenes and like for 5 hours he was in the room as they were doing the ball pulls, and he said, he wrote an article after saying it's more legitimate than you can even imagine. So maybe I just put too much faith in people, but you've been behind the doors. I haven't been behind the doors.
I've just heard conversations behind. I've been in conversations.
Right.
I didn't just there's no reason for me to be
Yeah.
in those conversations, but when you're in those conversations, you don't say anything. You listen and
Yeah.
you shut up and you hear how these people talk.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah. I do agree that it
It's-
runs on money. I don't disagree with you there. So, there could be some truth to it. The world runs on money, obviously. So,
But then you think, yeah, the people that own these teams have money. Like the owner of Anaheim has tons of money. I'm assuming. Like there's always two ways to every story. I just don't. He could have went anywhere, not anywhere, but he should have went to Anaheim or Columbus, and then it's just Chicago. You're just like, I don't know how,
Yeah.
how, and then you just think back to the money. You think, okay, well, yeah, it makes more sense for the NHL for him to be in Chicago.
you're so rattled if you're an Anaheim fan, though.
Yeah, of course.
Even though they have a cup, though, so they can stop crying. But it still does suck.
Bedard.
Mooseheads, going for the title here. Finals, first time in a couple of years. Going for the run. Do you believe?
I don't know anything about Quebec, so I do believe. The Halifax Mooseheads are a good hockey team. I've seen them play some games this year. They know how to put the puck into the net. I said this earlier that the World Juniors kind of ruined junior hockey for me this year. But if I can get my hands on some tickets to go to the finals, I'll definitely be going for sure. It'll be some great hockey. And apparently Quebec has never won a league championship. Did you know
they
that?
They have the record for them.
Do they?
President's Cups?
Quebec?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I saw somewhere.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was Patty Waugh that's never won a league
That makes a little more sense with Quebec.
with Quebec. I saw something today.
Yeah.
I think maybe Willie tweeted it out.
Willie who?
Paloff,
Friend of the show?
friend of the show. I'll look it up here.
It is kind of cool, though. It's the two biggest markets going head-to-head, right? Halifax and Quebec City.
Okay, yeah. So it's just Patrick Waugh badly wants his first league championship. Yeah, so it's just Patty Waugh.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Okay.
Yeah, they've definitely... It looks like they've got 5 championships.
Yeah, so it'll be fun. We'll have to get out and do some street interviews, ask some fans what they think about the Halifax Mooseheads if they can win the league championship. Where's the Mem Cup this year?
Good question. I think it's out west. Let me take a look. That was sick when we hosted that. Did you hide a button content for that? Like when they hosted the Mem Cup 2019, right before COVID.
We did some stuff. We did street interviews. We had media passes and we were like on the inside.
Yeah.
So we did it that way. But
Yeah.
no, it'll be great for the city. Talk about the owners going into their first year owning the Halifax Mooseheads. If they can win this, if they can win the President's Cup. It takes people years to win a championship. They go in.
Yeah.
Talk about a smart investment.
It's in Kamloops this year.
Oh,
so
is it?
British Columbia. It's pretty nice there, isn't it?
Yeah, it is nice. I passed through. I never stayed, but I remember it's nice. It's a nice spot.
Yep.
That'll be fun for the Halifax Mooseheads if they can pull this off. The city's always buzzing if they're in the finals. I remember when they won it. When did they win? 2013?
13, yeah. They sold out.
Yeah, of course. Of course, the league championship. You got to expect those games that are coming here will be sold out. But,
Yeah.
The city was just buzzing. It was very similar, not similar, but you'll see Moose jerseys everywhere, just like how you saw Leafs jerseys everywhere in Toronto. Like there's just not the pressure's there, but the city just evolves around it. You can take work off the next day because you're at the Moosehead game.
Dude.
It's just it'll be fun.
And hosting the World Juniors this year, you top it off with a President's Cup championship. What a year.
We've been very blessed to witness some great hockey in the city that we like to call Halifax. We've been very blessed. There's been a lot of really, really good sporting events that have been hosted in the city that we do like to call Halifax. It's been awesome.
Shout out Ice Jam.
Yeah, shout out to the Ice Jam as well. Sure, that was great as well. But there's just so much hockey, so many sports. You're just like drunk off sports at this point. Like I say, I'm sitting down here watching hockey. You're just drunk off hockey right now. It's just there's so much coming at you. Even if you don't want to take another shot of it, it's the bartender's chucking more shots in your face for free. It's just there's so much of it.
Yeah, and then you head off to Montreal for a week and do the best 12-year-olds from all around North America, and 16 games there. Then you come home, watch some more playoffs, go to a Moose game.
These kids are good, by the way, coming up. I don't know the last time you watched a 12-year-old play hockey, but man, these kids are good.
Yeah.
We have a very, very special group of hockey players coming up in the next generation. You think Bedard's good? Wait till you see what some of these other kids are doing. Holy smokes.
Yeah. Go back and go to our YouTube channel, our last live, the finals, Junior Bruins versus Junior Canadians, and tell me those aren't legitimate hockey players.
100%. Yeah. How much time are we at right now?
52.
52. I do want to end it on the excitement of the potential Lakers-Celtics finals. I'm not saying it will happen, but I do know Lakers are up 3-2 right now, I believe, and then Boston and
Philly
are tied 3-3. I think they're going
Yep.
into Game 7. So I'm a big, I don't want to say historian, but I like historic matchups. And when you talk about professional sports, whether it be basketball, hockey, baseball, football, you have to recognize the Lakers and Boston going head to head. Excuse me, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, LeBron James,
Shaquille O'Neal.
Well, yeah, I'm trying to think who LeBron doesn't have a kryptonite over in Boston right now. Like there's no rival.
Yeah,
There's the
yeah.
rivalry's not there. But when they do come together, I don't know, I'm thinking like Kobe, Paul Pierce,
Yeah.
like Ray Allen,
Yeah.
like that was fun.
Kevin Garnett when he played for the Celtics.
Anything is possible.
That was sick.
So
That was
it'll
for Timberwolves,
that's
right?
what I'm hoping
No,
for.
Celtics.
The only issue is that those games are going to be on late, and if you listen to this podcast, you know that I go to bed early, so I got to figure that out. I'll have to drink some coffee, and there's your boy right there. But we're gonna figure it out. There's nothing that we can't figure out, especially when it comes to historical events in sports, especially like the Lakers and Celtics. So hopefully that happens. Hopefully the Mooseheads win the President's Cup. Hopefully Bedard has a successful career in Chicago. Hopefully the Leafs win tonight. I'd like to see a Game 7 in that series. I know Jeff just rolled his eyes. Hopefully Edmonton. What's that series?
Hopefully the Oilers win the cup.
Who's
Had to squeeze that in?
What's Edmonton series at? 2-2?
Yeah.
2-2. So is the game tonight
Yeah, big Friday night game.
Is it in Edmonton?
No, it's in Vegas. So it's best 2 out of 3 series now. They've got home ice. Big game tonight.
You just at the end of the day, if you're a Canadian listening to this, you just want to see Canadian teams go through, no? Or am I just a big softy here? You just want to kill Toronto, don't you? You don't care at all.
Yeah, go Oilers. That's what I'll say there.
And then hopefully we have some new behind-the-scenes content coming out for everyone in the next 12 months that you can sit back, put your feet up to, and laugh at. So I think that's it for today on the High Button Podcast. I appreciate everyone tuning in. I hope that you guys enjoyed. And yeah, let's keep in touch. All right, we're out. Peace.